Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host Steven, and in favorite albums or greatest albums of 1982, according to me, when you think about that time, if you were alive at that time, the 80s, there are certain albums that will pop in everybody's head, and a lot of people will be in agreement to what that is. Some people will say, Purple Rain, 1984 from Van Halen. Another album that comes to mind to a majority of people, regardless of race, is probably the barrier breaking, the genre defining game changer of the 80s, one of the greatest game changers of this era. It has to be Michael Jackson's Thriller, for sure. Selling over 70 million units. 7 of the 9 tracks were released as singles. The project was helmed by Quincy Jones, who created an album that would break a lot of boundaries and hit different radio formats. A lot of time people were stuck into Michael Jackson, Jackson 5 were stuck into R&B and soul. Thriller would break his hold on that and push him into pop stations, even rock stations, soul stations, you name it. It was made to hit multiple formats, and it succeeded in every level to do so. And the album still sounds great today after 40 years. It's amazing how this album sounds great. I love it. It would have been a hit today just as it was in 1982. The other thing about it, Michael Jackson saw the emergence of MTV and realized that videos would be another great way to market an album. But he didn't just want to make a video. He wanted to make the video as memorable as the song. Videos up to right before 1992 were kind of like an accessory, a plaything, just like, it's there. But nobody paid that much attention to it. Michael Jackson saw the importance of this, or what it could do. And that's another thing, what would break boundaries and cultural differences. Everybody was watching videos. And to have something of a better caliber than these little home videos or whatever they were at the time, they seemed very low budget, B-movie, B kind of videos. People standing, dancing. He got in a reputable director, John Landis, who did, the Blues Brothers, Animal House, and he took Thriller, which is a very cinematic song, and made the video just as memorable as the song itself. And he saw the importance of making the video with quality. And I remember people flipped out when they heard that his video Thriller cost $1 million. And they said, he's never going to make money off this thing. He's crazy. He's lost his mind. Getting a real director, a legit director to do this. It's like a movie. But the world stopped that day when he released Thriller, and everybody, I ran home with my buddies, and we put on, and we were waiting. And you saw at some of the stores, there was like the TVs on their window, the displays, and it says countdown to Thriller. And it just changed the landscape of music forever. Then videos became such an important part of the marketing tool and how to get the songs across into different markets and different people that wouldn't necessarily listen to your song on the radio. It was a phenomenal move, a big gamble. It changed the landscape. So just historically, that it changed everything about how music can be heard and where it can go to, merits this as the top of my list for albums of 1982, for sure. This is the game changer. This is the album that changed everything. So you let me know if you have this album, you have heard of this album. I'm sure most people have. What do you think of it? Love to hear from you. I'll post a couple of videos. I'll post Thriller down below, and you let me know. I remember my daughter, we got the videos for this thing, and she just played it 100 times over and couldn't believe it. It's magical. It was a magical time. And this is the album that started that magic and telling you how videos can be so important and add a different feel to the song, or even add more to it. And Quincy Jones' production is phenomenal. I still say this album sounds just as good now as it did in 1982. I'll post a couple of songs down below. You let me know what you think. Is this worthy of one of the best albums of 1982? You let me know. Love to hear from you. This is Steven from the Aroundtable with my selection of one of the best albums of 1982. It's Michael Jackson's Thriller.